Hey, Year 9, welcome to our first lesson for Chapter 8, which is all about quadratics, quadratic expressions and algebraic fractions. And today we're just going to be looking at expanding binomial products. Now, the things that we need to be careful of is first making sure we understand what binomials are. Now, a binomial is made up of two terms. So let me give you an example. Here's an example. A binomial could be x plus 3. There's two terms. A binomial could be 5x squared minus 7. This is an example of something that is not a binomial. X plus 2x. That is not a binomial because you can actually add those two things and it becomes 3x, which is just one term. So you can see binomials are made up of two terms separated by a plus or a minus, and they cannot be added together or subtracted because they're not alike terms. So a binomial is made up of two terms. And when we expand binomial products, remember, products means we're multiplying. Expanding binomials means we're multiplying two terms together with something else. So, let's have a look at this concept here. Now, it looks quite confusing when you look at the slide here, but I want you to remember, when you are expanding brackets, I'll often refer to this. FOIL. Oh, I bumped the grey halfway through. So we've got the FOIL method. Now, with the FOIL method, the F stands for first, the O stands for outside, and the I stands for inside, and the L stands for last. So what does that actually mean? Well, I know it's written down below, but let's do this again. If I have a bracket with two terms in it, that's a binomial. Here's another bracket, another binomial. You need to remember when you've got two brackets written next to each other, they're being multiplied. So that's a product, and we're going to expand the brackets out. Now, in order to expand these brackets out, we would look at the first term. That's what F stands for, the first term in each bracket. So we would take the first term of the first bracket and multiply it by the first term of the second bracket. That's our first term taken care of each bracket. Now we deal with the outside terms of each bracket. Now the outside term is the two terms that are furthest apart. So the outside term means take the outside term in the first bracket and multiply it to the outside term in the second bracket. Then we'll go for the inside terms, which are the two terms closest together, and we multiply those together. And then the last term in each bracket, and we multiply those together. So that's the pattern we're going to work with. And it's how we expand binomial products. So let's look at our first example. We're going to look at the first terms now. So I'm going to multiply the two first terms together. What's x times x? Well, that's just x squared. Now let's look for the outside terms. That's the x and the minus 5. We multiply those together, and x times negative 5 gives negative 5x. Now we're going to look for the inside terms, which will be these two. Plus 2 times x. So plus 2 times x is plus 2x. And finally, the last term in each bracket. And the last term in each bracket is the plus 2 and the minus 5. Positive 2 multiplied by negative 5 gives negative 10. Now we need to tidy things up. If I look at my answer, it consists now of 4 terms, which makes sense because FOIL, F-O-I-L, 4 parts. So there should be 4 parts to my answer. But what you'll typically find is that some of the parts can add together. Negative 5x plus 2x, they are like terms because they're both x terms. Negative 5 plus 2 gives negative 3, which means we can rewrite that answer as x squared minus 3x minus 10. So remember, the first terms, the outside terms get multiplied together, the inside terms get multiplied together, and the last terms get multiplied together. And there's a pattern there if you watch it. Let's try part B. First terms, 2a times 5a, 2 5s are 10, a times a is a squared, so we get 10a squared. Outside terms, 2a times negative 4e, 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, so we get negative 8ae. Inside terms, a positive 3a times a positive 5a gives positive 15ea, or better, positive 15ae, because it doesn't matter what order we put the letters in, and you'll notice we've got like terms. But let's finish off. We haven't done our last terms yet. Our last terms, positive 3e times a negative 4e, positive 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, and the e times e gives e squared. So when I look at my 4 terms that are created in the answer, 2 of them are like the AE terms. Negative 8 plus 15. Negative 8 plus 15 is plus 7. So my answer is 10a squared plus 7ae minus 12e squared. Time for you now to try doing some of these questions. Make sure you're detailed at understanding this concept, because this concept is going to be used over and over and over again. And later on, when we get into some of the trickier concepts, if you forget the trickier ones, you can always fall back and use this method to expand binomial products, which we'll often refer to as the FOIL method. Have fun!